Stagecoach Inn actually has been around for several years, the 1800s, I think.
The team heads to a historical site, and as the sun sets, they get a history course.
Hi, I'm Jackie Means with Paranormal Endeavors.
Howdy do. I'm Stephen Wilkins, the president of the Ida County Historical Society.
I'm Alec, founder of WANA Paranormal.
Hi, I'm Jackie Means with Paranormal Endeavors as well.
And in 1856, there were two families that settled not too far from each other that were considered permanent settlers because they were around quite a while.
But he had a great big gun with him on his side, and I said, gosh, what's that for? I said, you really don't need that in a park. And he goes, well, he says, I was out here the other day, and he says, I could hear footsteps upstairs. And he said, we never did find anybody. And he says, I guess I just would rather have some type of protection with me.
Cemetery. These are the original settlers of this area, known as the Comstocks.
As the team deploys their resources with the moon overhead, potential paranormal phenomenon begins,
Was that you messing with the K2?
possibly affecting a fellow investigator.
And when we were down in the basement, I kept getting cold chills on the back of my legs.
A lot of paranormal activity, contrary to popular belief in the media, is simply just living history, so it's another element. I was picking up on possible child presence, very, very, very specific. It was good enough that I was able to actually sketch out. Then something happened, something that Alan claims has never happened to him before.
Is that okay?
Alan,
Yes.
is that okay if you check?
Yes.
Are you okay, Alan? Or are you listening?
Yeah, I was, for some reason, I was just zoned out. I could not answer you, and I don't know why.
As the team administrator steps down, a void opens for a new team member.
So I came over here and you wanted to talk to me a little bit. I noticed that you kind of been backing off a little bit of some of the cases, so what's going on?
I'm having health issues right now, so I need to pull back a little.
Due to Kim stepping down, Paranormal Endeavors has opened up the opportunity for a new case manager.
She wasn't letting it. She wasn't comfortable with it.
Bad, but I think we can do it. We have good.
Set up went really well until Kim showed up.
Because when I got back to, and went over,
And just hang out there as if I was living there.
Excited to be back at Edinburgh Manor.
fascinated with paranormal.
This case, and we actually get a chance to work with another paranormal group, another team that we have not worked with yet. Their acronym is WANA, GI, Paranormal Investigator Group.
Alright, so we are going to be going to investigate the Stagecoach, and I'm really excited for it. I don't know really anything about it, so that's so good spiritually wise.
And we had a couple trainees who joined, who are just starting out, and none of them were able to make it to this particular case tonight, unfortunately. One was scheduled to and then had to cancel, so
Really bummed that Raphael couldn't be here, but understanding as to why he had to decline this case. So we'll have fun. I mean, we'll have 3 people, so we'll still do it. It's still good. Okay, so what do you know about this place, Eric?
Well, Stagecoach Inn actually has been around for several years, the 1800s, I think. We'll get more in details, specific years, who built it, who owned it, and all that stuff when we get there. I've talked with the coordinator who's working on this. He's also on another team that's out there. I haven't worked with this team yet, so it'll be a new team to work with.
Wait, I have to go by myself?
You're a big boy. You've been an investigator in the past, and you've survived.
I'll miss you guys.
But anyway, I am glad that you're able to join us on this endeavor, even though you sometimes disappear time to time.
Hey man, I do what I can.
We've actually not been told very much because of our spiritual side of what we're doing, so when we go in there, we're pretty cold. They're going to give us a rundown on the history of the facts, like the ownership, when it was built, who lived there, and all that kind of stuff.
Hi, I'm Eric Klein, Paranormal Endeavors.
I'm Alec, founder of WANA Paranormal.
Hi, I'm Jackie with Paranormal Endeavors as well.
It's nice to meet you finally. We were kind of talking over this last week about coming here. I know that Mike Sutton, a mutual friend of ours and another investigator for CIPI, had recommended coming out here, so we wanted to give it a chance here. There's a lot of history here. And actually right now where we're at, you were talking about some things that had happened here.
Yeah, this is actually the tracks. In fact, if you look at the ground closely, you can see the original ruts from the stagecoach line that used to travel from Fort Dodge up to, say, Storm Lake, Sioux City. It would pass directly by this location. The purpose for them to stay here primarily was the fear of basically Indian attack. And this was pretty much a lawless area back in 1856.
I'm Jackie with Paranormal Endeavors.
Howdy do. I'm Stephen Wilkins, the president of the Ida County Historical Society. I was born and raised here in Ida Grove, and have been quite a few places since then. I am retired from the Polk County Sheriff's Office, moved back here with my wife in 2005, and I've been active in the Historical Society ever since.
Yeah, there's a lot of history here. A lot of baggage, so to speak, is crossed over those steps located right over there. I think you're going to find this a very interesting and lively location.
It is a very historic place, and we also like bringing historic places together with the paranormal as well, because we also believe that a lot of the paranormal activity, contrary to popular belief in the media, is simply just living history.
It's quite a fascinating area. I used to come out here when I was a teenager, and at that time this building was a virtual derelict. It was about ready to fall down. And I often wondered about the things that had happened here, and I've always been interested in history, so.
I think we'll go up and visit the Settler Cemetery. Okay. It's the only original cemetery left in Ida County. There's still 3 bodies remaining up there from the Comstocks. Back, I believe it was sometime in 1924-ish, in that era, they moved the bodies from this location up on the hill to the current location here in Ida Grove. Some of the bodies were not recovered. As many as 5 to 7 were not recovered, 2 of which are possibly children.
Before the white man came here, most of the area in western Iowa was a vast sea of prairie grasses and wildflowers. There are relatively few trees. Along the major rivers and streams you'd find willows and silver maples, but for the most part everything was just a sea of grass.
So I was guided to reach out to you while we're here. There's a story particularly where someone might have been scared enough to where they had to carry some sidearm on them.
Yeah, I had one guy come out here one time, and he was I don't remember what he was doing, if he was leaving the open house or if he was out here working. I'm not sure what it was, but he had a great big gun with him on his side, and I said, gosh, what's that for? I said, you really don't need that in a park. And he goes, well, he says, I was out here the other day, and he says, I could hear footsteps upstairs, and he says, we never did find anybody, and he says, I guess I just would rather have some type of protection with me.
Yeah, wow.
The Native American tribes that occupy this area were the Sioux. There was a treaty signed in 1851 that divested the Sioux of their rights to this land here, although they continued to come through for hunting purposes from time to time. And there was a lot of tension between the surveyors and the Sioux, and also between the settlers later on. There was never any actual violence between the Lakota and the whites in this county that I'm aware of.
The only other really weird thing I've heard out here, one time I was working out here and I could hear somebody outside whistling.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was one of my friends, so I came outside and I said, "Oh, Mike," I said, "you're back." Oh, Mike wasn't around. I mean, there was nobody around, so I'm not sure where the whistling was coming from. But,
wow.
So, but those are the two only really kind of weird things that I've seen out there.
Yeah. Could that guy with the gun, did he ever come back without it, or did he always insist on carrying it?
You know, I don't know. I guess I didn't really see him working out here after that, if he had it with him or not.
Okay.
The frustrating thing is there's so much you will never know for sure, because records usually were somewhat incomplete. People who were living at the time were too busy earning a living and surviving. They didn't have time to, for the most part, didn't have time to write their reminiscences down.
All right, so when we first got here, you could just feel a lot of the energy from surrounding buildings, and it's very active for sure.
Well, thanks for sharing that with us. Any kind of experiences maybe personal to you that happened to you, the getting watched, the getting touched, or anything?
No, not really. No, and I've spent quite a bit of time up around there and really haven't had any of that stuff. So.
Okay.
In some cases, we have thought that some of the activities, some of the EVPs of children that we've captured in here could quite possibly be those children. We don't know for sure if they were, the ceremony, so to speak, was held here at the end. It was the only real church in this area, and then of course carted up the hill. So it could very well be them.
Yeah, and that's a theory we know and that we've worked with in the past too in the paranormal field about restless spirits, spirits that their bodies, they can't move on completely because of that. Would you say you're a skeptic or a believer?
I'd be skeptical.
Skeptical?
Yeah,
okay.
I'd be skeptical.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so I'm one that things have to be proven to me.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, we like those. So, all right, well, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you. Things that we've encountered before with cemeteries that have moved but not taken the bodies respectfully, so with them. But all right, well, we'll go ahead after you then.
All right, let's take a walk.
So we had arrived and we actually had quite a tour. We had several places to go, a lot of history here as well, which I knew coming into it that the setup's going to take a little bit longer than some of our residentials that we primarily do, only because of that aspect. So Alan had showed us around. We had also waited for a crowd of folks that were, there was a public event here tonight for them to leave. So now we're ready. We have it set up, ready to go.
Cemetery. These are the original settlers of this area, known as the Comstocks, and they were buried here after they passed away, and they just thought it was appropriate that they stayed here.
Yeah.
A lot of the bodies were moved. Sometime in the early 1900s, and not all the bodies were recovered. Actually, they say there's anywhere from 5 to 7 bodies that still remain here without markers. 2 of which are believed to be very small children.
Yeah, I'm open, and our team has used dowsing rods before. We just haven't made it a common reoccurrence, but
Right.
I'm open to that. If you want to, in a moment after you get some shots, walk over there on camera, see if that happens.
Yeah, and being in the dark, I don't really know where it's at.
And while we're up here, I'd actually followed you guys in, and I'd stopped just about right here in this area. Now, if there should be another marker right in here between these two, I don't know. Not that there's bodies that were mistreated, but somebody's not at rest up here because I think of what had happened in the past with the whole movement process. Right now, what I'm getting is primarily one spirit individual.
Right here?
In that area, yeah.
They can be used for a lot of different things. Finding water. Water is indeed a form of energy that flows through the ground, flows through the soil. It's thought that a body retains energy.
Yeah.
Einstein once said very well that energy cannot be created or destroyed. So if it cannot be destroyed, where does it go?
Yeah.
Does it become a ghost? We don't know. So that energy still remains in the soil where these bodies are laying.
Underneath me, literally in this area, was where I'd stopped and something had grabbed me. And if we're not right now, I almost feel like I have to come back up here at some point during the night with more equipment and see if we can
do that.
More.
Yeah, we can do that. During the past month, there's been reports of lights being on inside the Stagecoach Inn. On 2 of those occasions, I went over to shut the lights off. We actually documented, me and my co-founder one night, the light that was on in the Stagecoach Inn, and it was in the men's room. This is the room that I get the most activity at. We went in. We didn't catch anything on video. Didn't catch anything on K2. We were there for maybe 15 minutes and we left. A couple weeks later, the same thing happened in the same room. Now, I was out here approximately 2 weeks ago. The same thing occurred again in the same room. Nobody had been out here. This place, when it gets locked up, is locked up tight. That gentleman, the name was Don. He pulled me to the side and he said, "Have you been out here, doing anything here in the past couple of days?" I said, "No, I haven't been out here at all." And he said, "Well, I got a call last night that one of the lights was on in the inn, and I came out here and it was light inside the men's room over the table, and it's the same light that keeps coming on frequently, but now somebody else has reported it to me." So that's an area we're going to have to look at tonight very closely.
And when we first got here, setup went really well. We all worked as a team to set up, so obviously it did go well.
A few things that had actually interacted with us, or stuff had happened during setup as well. So the energy here has a vibe of potentially being very active, so we'll have to see how it goes.
These are the original timbers. They ripped, they sawed, they created with their own hands. It was also serving as an in-store at that time. People would come in here and actually lay on the floor to sleep. If you look at the floor, see all these little gouges?
Yeah.
Those are axe marks. Bitter cold outside, they would actually have to bring the wood inside to split it.
Okay.
So that's just part of it.
What was the year again, just in case we... I think
1856.
When this was built?
Correct. 1856. And then in 1857 it was established as the Stagecoach Inn.
Okay.
People were held down on this table as amputations took place. Fingers, toes, hands, feet, childbirth, quite possibly even death.
Yeah.
What they want us to do especially is, this place is not really on the paranormal commercial map yet. They're wanting to get there. They're wanting us to maybe help them get more people, investigators in there.
This also again serves as a church. There'd be ministers that would come through on occasion, and they would stay here for basically nothing. But I want to address you to this cubby.
That's what I was talking to you about outside, I think.
They would hide the children in there when Indians were near. And they would put them in there. They would take a dresser similar to this one here, and they would slide it over the hole.
You got that recorder going? Up there? Okay. You're on this end? You're on this end?
Another lady had told me about the cubby hole. They were children. They came out here to play hide and go seek. And she was hiding in the cubby hole upstairs. And she felt something pull her hair. She had a little flashlight with her. She turned around to see if one of her friends was actually in there with her. Nobody was inside the cubby.
Fall Festival. Oh, Mendora, Illinois. I don't know where that's at exactly. But
Probably some postcard somebody sent.
1912, Euro Titanic. Cool. Can you see that?
Yeah.
That's right again. Jackie, Alex, camera guy, Eric present here, Stagecoach Inn, Ida Grove. And we also have Alan and his team member Sue present with us, and that's all that's present now. So no kids, no people with gruff voices or anything like that. So for audio, it's just us. That's Alex. All right, we're heading towards the basement. We're getting K2 hits right now.
John Moore, was that you that just made these lights go on this device? You know how this works. This device was created specifically for you to use to communicate with me with and these other people, these other fine people that come here to visit with you tonight. If you understand what I'm saying, can you go ahead and turn these lights on for me one more time, please? Thank you. Thank you. And speak to us. We'll be able to understand you. Can you do that for us, please? If you're doing so, can you light these lights up on this device one more time? There's a light. Go ahead and use it.
You okay, Al? I know you don't like basements.
Well, yeah, I'm fine.
Diazinon down here.
Okay.
Is that true? Was it your body that was down here?
Yes.
It is. Or over here.
In this area.
Did this used to be like another entrance or something, or what?
Yes, near the walls over there. That's the other half of the basement.
It's going more off. Logically, if it was coming from this, it would be going off
Right
now. But it went off, but it's going off more as I'm pulling away.
See upstairs?
That's the kind of stuff you hear, though, if you're
Now look at
doing
this.
Look at that. Oh, so over here, that's what I was thinking, was it was pointing us over here. So, are you within this mound? Yes?
That's freaking wild.
And a good test for that, too, is if we're able to shut off the breaker. No power to here, but that would shut off our DVR system, but...
There's nothing here.
Yeah.
This is just dirt. The only power is going to be above your head. I don't understand that at all.
Going all the red, though, that's pretty strong.
And when we were down in the basement, I kept getting cold chills on the back of my legs and my lower legs and everything, and the K2 was just going off, going crazy. It was awesome.
With K2, that it has to be pretty close to it. Yeah, K2's
Like right
been
on.
controversial because they pick up a lot of things, and some paranormal teams don't like that.
But what's going on here is
you have to be close
doesn't
to
make any sense.
Yeah, you have to be close to it. Like, if it was this, you'd hold it up to the light, and as closer you got, Alex, to it, it would go...
That indicates a power source. This is fluctuating.
I keep getting chills around my legs.
You're getting chilled around your legs?
Yeah, like on the back.
See, Jackie, I think that indicates definitely that
Like I noticed it up there too.
Oh, it's right behind you.
something's underneath us, especially if it's the leg portion of us.
Look at this. You've got a friend.
Yeah. Picked up on a child, potentially.
It's playing with it.
I keep picking up on my child.
Child, yeah.
Like, that's why
You're
I
right.
keep
I didn't want to
getting-
say anything. I wanted to see if you got it. Come down to your level. If you want to talk into here, you can. Let us know your name.
Well, feel free to follow us around if you want to when we go back upstairs.
While we're here, though, too.
Right, while we're here.
Okay, we're going to leave you alone for a little bit. Wants the company.
Yeah, he doesn't really want us to go. That's what I'm getting with this. You're welcome to go off again. You're welcome to play with this bell. See, it jingles.
Keep us safe from harm and injury. Protect us as you did David in the lion's den, keeping him safe from harm. If need be, Father, give us an out a way to escape, as you did for Moses parting the Red Sea. Father, don't allow anything here that may follow us home. Bind it to this location and keep it here. And let it know that we mean it no harm, as we want it to give us no harm. We ask this in your heavenly name. Amen.
And may the white light of the Holy Spirit surround us and protect us this night. Amen.
Paranormal Endeavors here at Stagecoach Inn, October 19th, 2013. I think right now for the first team, what we're going to do is, I think we should pair up and have, I think somebody should be outside. Divided up the team. Alex and Jackie had went inside, so primarily Jackie as investigator. And then I went outside with Sue and Alan, and we went outside actually and investigated outside. Because I thought I saw you when we arrived. I just need to make sure if maybe you're still here.
The main frustration with investigating at any time outside is that you don't have the control over the area that you're investigating. It's the least control that you have, up next to apartment investigating.
This area back here, if you'd like to know, is full of old 1900s, early 1900s farming implements.
Oh, okay.
A lot of farming equipment back here.
Yeah.
Did you live on this land?
There's noises and things that you could be hearing, but it's in the woods, it's outside, so logically it's hard as heck to validate what you're getting as a sensitive or spirit medium.
And if any animals would be pretty much moved out of here by now, with our activity in here.
Thank you, if that's you.
Did you hear that? It sounded almost like a drum.
Yeah.
I'm getting a whiff of sage.
Yeah. You're on the right, but I didn't want to say anything, but I know what I think it is.
She-Think-a-Baduda, is that you? Are you still watching over this land that you feel belongs to you? Did you hear that?
I didn't. What'd you hear?
Hello? It might have picked up on your digital recorder.
Same direction, or?
No, it was right here.
Alright, so is anybody else here with us? We're not here to cause any harm or distress. We just want to validate that you're here. Alex and I's first session, we started off on the first floor, and we got a little bit of activity, but it felt more like they were just playing with us. Thank you if that was you. We're not here to push you into doing anything you don't want to do, so you take the time that you need.
So they're not really approaching us?
Not really. Like maybe a little bit here and there, but they're still very, they don't trust us yet, so they're not going to be as open. They'd want us to go into one room, but then when we went in that room, they'd go into a different room, and they'd just kind of be sitting there laughing at us, is what it felt like to me. Thank you if that was you. Alright, so we're going to come in here where y'all had church. And is there anybody in here with us?
Toying with us.
Yeah. And then when we were in the room that they used to have church and stuff in, we both definitely felt like we were being scolded. Alright, we're leaving this room, okay? Alright, so we left the other room like you asked us to. It's almost like they're laughing.
Really?
Yeah. That's what I got in there. Like when they kept like make it go off a little bit. And then when they wanted us to leave, it's like they're toying with us. Like they'll come out a little bit. And then when we start getting wise to them, they'll back away like, we don't have to talk to you. We had our session there. I felt like we were mainly working with children. So they're very playful. Are you guys playing with us? Oh, thank you. We appreciate that.
Or do we?
We were here just a moment ago blinking the lights come on this light. Can you do it one more time for us?
I feel like they're, like every time we go into a room.
They go into the other one?
Yes.
And
then they just sit there and look at you like, haha. Like, yeah, we'll come out a little bit, but no.
we don't have to do what you say.
Right.
Which is true.
Right.
What?
My headset was just like, I was like, what was that? Yeah. Okie dokie. And that's what we felt like we were being played with. And we asked, are you playing with us? And they'd spike, and we were like, okay.
Yeah. It's
So,
not uncommon.
And then when we were in where they used to have church, we were in that room and like kind of felt like we were being scolded in a way, like by the older generation.
Like elders are here too.
Yeah.
That could possibly be one of the pastors that passed through here. You know, at that time, they were much like teachers, and they kept people in line. You know, they were brash.
Fire and brimstone.
Fire and brimstone, exactly. So that could be the scolding you were getting. You might not have been giving proper respect being inside the chapel area.
Wow, they're playing with us and then it's
spike. Yeah.
So they rarely ever answer our questions, just kind of like, they would comment on our comments.
You just kind of
Very interesting. We have, when Central Lab Paranormal Investigators were here, we actually followed something around in that room, the community room, for about 7 minutes. We had asked the child if, whatever child was there, if the gentleman by the name of John Moore had hurt that child. There's a rumor, and it's only a rumor, that the reason John Moore hung himself was because he may have done something terrible to that girl and believes she was thrown down the well and was killed. And that's possibly the reason why he hung himself. And when the note that stated it was all for the best, we're getting activity talking about that.
K2 hit.
So when we asked the child if John Moore had hurt her, we had very strong K2s.
And then when we did a session as an entire group, things are crazy. Oh, I don't even know where to begin on that.
But could it have been that there was some not so nice acts going on with the child? Where would you take him if you was a twisted, demented person in the basement?
And like when we were like down there, I just kept feeling like really emotional. Like I felt like when we went to leave, whoever it was didn't want us to leave. Like didn't.
The first time, that's how it was too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when it was almost like whoever it was still down there, like waiting for us to leave.
We're going to talk about dividing up the team, but then we kind of started our investigation, jumped right into it with all of us in here.
But I'm getting a terrible headache.
Yeah.
John, are we talking about you and you don't appreciate that? Are you indeed a coward?
I've asked you that question before. Is there a child that's in here with us? Is this your dress and shoe that's in this case over here?
DVR audio, just a couple seconds back. Possible child moan.
Anna, honey, you don't have to be afraid.
If you're still in here with us, could you let us know? Yes? Okay, a little bit.
Anna was the daughter of Judge Moorhead, who was here just a moment ago making the lights come on this device. Can you do it one more time for us, please? So, you enjoy talking about your dress? Are you hearing voices?
What's that squeak?
I don't know. I heard some voices.
I heard it too.
It sounds like a mouse.
Upstairs.
I'm hearing talking.
And we were getting some K2 hits and some. That was when we got a little bit more of aggressive type feeling, or somebody who is angry or didn't want us asking questions.
Got a lot of activity, got a lot of K2 hits, got a lot of either personal or group experiences.
Dr. John Moorhead, is that you? Wow. Okay.
All right. Well, anyway, as we were saying earlier.
I'm going to shut this off for a moment. 5 minutes of quiet. Okay, we're still getting activity. I was thinking maybe.
Let me ask again. Are you a child? Are you young? One would say that it is a playfulness about it, but because of them always being low to the ground, ducking while they're running, it makes me wonder if that's not always a good...
I think you're on the right track, and I don't know if you've been around children, but where do children like to hang out? They love to be around adults. Mm-hmm. They like the attention of adults. And with a group of adults like ourselves here, naturally, little kids, and excuse my French, like to show their ass. Mm-hmm. And they really enjoy being a little ornery. And with a group of people in here, like it's been in the past, when Central Iowa Paranormal Investigators was here, we had the same kind of responses. We were in here just as individuals, these things didn't occur.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was saying as a group. That's what I mentioned in there. I think as a group we're doing better than we are splitting up.
Okay.
DVR audio, just a couple seconds back. Possible child moan, sigh. Okay, well, why don't we maybe try an upstairs session?
All right, upstairs I started doing a spiritual part of the research, and I was getting some visions of colors, and I was picking up on a young child of 8 to 10 years of age.
K2 went off. Are you coming back out to talk to us?
Are you trying to communicate through this device I got my hand on right now?
when we went upstairs, we were talking to a little boy, and I believe there was a little girl at one point in time. But talking to them, and started learning more about the mother as well.
Are you in there?
Are you in the crawl space? Say it loudly and clearly so we can hear you over this device that's making all the noise.
Scary, are you still here? You can come back. Okay. Well, that's the mix I'm getting. It's mixed results. I don't think it's all play. There's something else in here that happened that's more of a traumatized memory.
Alright.
Yeah.
Were you fearful? Were you fearful that when you went in there that you were afraid that the Indians were going to take you? Were they going to harm your parents? You didn't know if somebody was going to come in here and kill your parents, and you knew that if you went in there that it could be the last time you'd ever see them again before you went in that hole. It must have been terrible. It must have been a terrible place to be.
And he was up there, he's coming out to me very strongly, actually. I could probably sketch him. His face came through so clear.
If there's a little boy here, could you come forward, please? In the 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 years of age. Yep, K2's going on. Okay, is that you? I'm bad with names. I wish Kim was here. I'm trying to pick up your name, but I'm connecting with a young boy that has freckles. He's somewhat...
I just had a light anomaly just go right in front of you.
Okay. He's somewhat sad. Well, he's scared. He's very skittish. But when he's happy, he's a very playful, happy boy. But what he has to be afraid of, it's too bad. He's trying to be happy, but he's like one of those individuals who plays it off, whether it was beaten into him or is forced to be quiet, but he couldn't tell anybody about something. I don't know. He's kind of holding back from me, too. That's what I was getting. Okay. I'm sure if I see it or go through photos, I'm sure I could identify it, probably. Because his face came through so clear to me.
You feel that bump on the floor just now?
I did.
It was a thump.
I thought I'd heard something before that too, like a hum or something. I don't know if everything that pertains to this property is here or if there's other stuff scattered around.
There might be some stuff at the Moorhead House Museum in town.
Yeah.
That seems to be where a lot of photos are at.
That's what I was wondering. Because I keep thinking that there's possibly one exists. Yeah. Are you in a photo? Is a photograph? Yeah. Thank you.
Is your name Sam? They call you Samuel? Yes.
Then something happened. Something that Alan claims has never happened to him before. It's an experience that he's gone through. It was new to him. He just blacked out. Clear out my current thoughts in my mind and basically surround myself with the white light and flood myself with the white light is what happens to. So it's just a blank slate. So then that way what happens allows thoughts, energies, and whatnot from this location to come across and come through. Some would say that this is a form of channeling, which I can't argue with. It is. But I only allow to where it gives thoughts, and that's it. I do not give them authority to use my voice or do anything else. So, throwing that out there, if you want me to or not.
Is that okay?
Alan,
Yes.
is that okay if you check?
Yes. Yes.
Are you okay, Alan? Or are you listening?
Yeah. I was, for some reason, I was just zoned out, just terribly zoned out. I was hearing what you were saying, but it was just like you were someplace else.
Does that happen to you often?
No, that's the first time I've ever done that. It was like I was almost amazed in the manner in which you were speaking to me, but at the same time, like I just didn't comprehend.
And I was asking him if it was okay if I kind of bump it up just a little bit on the spiritual side of things by doing a form of taking in visions and messages and things like that. And I was just talking to him, and he was not responding.
I was just unable to.
That was weird. Yeah.
It was almost as if I was understanding but not understanding what you were saying. I don't quite, I can't wrap my head around that.
So, throwing that out there, if you want me to or not, Alan. It's a human obelisk is really what it is. So anything that's random that comes through, I pick it up and then I say it out. So if there's any gift, that's a more common, widespread gift that a lot of people have. But I would say, honestly, even though earlier you said that there wasn't anything that you're aware of that you have, that is something that you have. So you're empathic. So that explains why you walk in a room and you feel, maybe if somebody died of a heart attack, you pick up their chest pain. When you walk in a room, if nobody else feels the heaviness, you feel the heaviness.
That's why I pick up the headaches. That's
Yep.
why at times I
That's
do.
their
When
form
I'm
of
down in the
manifesting.
classroom area, I've had heaviness in my chest.
Yeah.
Why in the classroom, I don't know.
Yep.
Sunny day. Gold, coin, money.
I take it's been pretty quiet. Or no.
When you talked about the green and then the money,
Yeah.
it spiked a little bit and then just now.
Okay. Continue with that.
Especially when we were talking about the little boy again, and then we were hearing sounds, and like the rooms behind us as well.
I don't really wonder. It's a mix, but there's kind of a theme here. If I kept going a little bit longer, I'd probably pinpoint it. But things hanging down, they looked either like some kind of long drapes, though. But it wasn't here. It wasn't like it was a different place.
The
What are you referring to, Eric?
Well, I'm trying to figure it out. A lot of the stuff I was getting at, there was a big chunk in there where I was getting something that was hanging down that had a lot of color on it. It looked like curtains, drapes, and just before that I thought maybe theater or plays, something where there was a bigger, like 10-foot or higher ceilings with something that's hanging down.
Chandelier?
I don't know about that. These had those colors on them. I seen the red and some of the green on it, and
See, I was wondering if you weren't talking about those poles that have the ribbons that they would actually like dance around the pole with. Eric was picking up on a lot of colors upstairs when we were talking to the children. So the reds, the yellows, lime green, a lot of different variation of colors.
Yeah,
they had,
they
like,
use that
different
during the
colors.
celebrations in the summer, and the
people.
kids would intertwine
The ribbons.
It's
Yeah.
just like braiding, and they go around in a circle,
And when they were
and
done
they play the music.
Yeah.
You're talking about May Day.
Yeah, the Mayday
Yeah.
pole things.
May Day celebration.
Yeah.
Mayday pole. Yeah. And that was a big celebration for them.
yeah, what I was getting wasn't anything bad. It was very festive,
Yeah.
some of it, and
Like
the
outside
money
and then with
and
Sunny.
with
or
theater.
the
I was
other
going in that direction because I was trying to think back in that time frame. Which the only year that came up during this was 1919.
one. They could have had music.
Yeah,
but he was telling me different things, more positive things from his life, potentially. So we got to go over the evidence and see how that goes. Saying it through their eyes, if that makes sense. Like, you're
Right.
going to respond to me. They didn't just want to respond to K2.
I think what happened there is it's
Started picking up on that and piecing all that together, and the K2 hits started being more active and pretty much saying, yes, that's what we're talking about.
No, definitely the parents or the guardians of this individual, very old school, very
Right,
strict, by the book.
Right.
You do
Read
this,
your scriptures every day.
you'll be punished for your sins. Now
Right.
go read the Bible, sit in your room, go in the crawl space, read your Bible. That kind
Religion
of...
was very much drilled into their head.
Yeah.
And
Well, like the mom and
every day.
Carrie that we just saw.
Yes.
you
Like
are
everything.
completely describing Martha Moorhead.
Okay.
She was against card playing.
Against anything.
She was
not,
against drinking.
Yep.
She was against everything that was not clean.
Yeah.
Impure.
She was. I'm trying to think what that religion was called.
Once we started kind of bringing up more about Martha, it kind of stopped.
Thank you for sharing that much of your thoughts with me. Well, with me and with us. That's all I had to say about that. But just letting you know that there might be more people, more groups coming in here. I heard that too. Not my stomach, but after that.
We're towards the end of the night here. We'll have to see what else happens. Alright, so we're back up here at the cemetery now. It's towards the end of the night. We're going to see if we can detect what might have been with us earlier when we were up here. So if there's anybody up here, if that was you earlier, are you still here? Whether it was with the bodies being moved or the method or the way that it happened, somebody was unhappy and is unable to rest. And I can ask again, now that we have this done. There's somebody who is unhappy up here.
It should have been a yes.
We're here to try to figure out what that is. Were you unhappy because your body's still here? Or is your body taken? To your body?
Oh, that was a woman.
What did it say?
I don't know. Hopefully it's probably did before.
So you're a woman? Are you a woman up here? We heard a woman.
Is that Jane Lee Comstock that we're talking with? Is there anybody you'd like to have us contact? Let them know that you're okay. Yes, very much so. You still have a relative that's alive that you would like to visit with?
Oh my gosh, was there a couple here? Was it like a buried together and then one was taken away and the other one's still here? That's what I'm getting. Oh my gosh.
Overall, this investigation went very well. I believe that there is some activity on the grounds and on the property and within the inn as well. And I think that it was great to work with this new team.
It was nice working with you here, and I appreciate you having us out.
No problem. You guys can come back and visit us anytime. We really appreciate you coming out and help validating some of our findings. I think that's important.
Yeah.
And hopefully, you can return. Hopefully, others will come up and attempt to do the same thing you did.
With me, when we first pulled up, the very first spirit activity I picked up on, and that was still when we had crowds here of living people that were here, it was mainly up by that tree out there. It was a Native American woman and possibly her child. It was a little bit more of possible Native American energies that were back within the woods.
When we came up here, I definitely noticed something with the tree as well. Like somebody peeking around the trunk of the tree, and then somebody actually sitting up in the tree. I'm not sure about, I don't know. I'm still kind of questioning about the up in the tree factor of it, but like, my eyes kept being pulled towards it.
So I can't help but wonder if it's the same. I thought I heard something. The same.
Probably did.
Same boy, meaning that he's still here, and that's one thing that Endeavors kind of works on too. We question any spirit, especially why they're here and what they're doing and all that kind of stuff, try to help them. But spirits, we sometimes spend even more time with children's spirits. But he's a very happy, chipper boy. Came through, and that's what we got downstairs too initially. That's what I got. We were glad to be out there. We were glad to work with Alan, and we were glad to get this opportunity to come out there. So it was very nice.
Well, again, I'm glad you came.
I believe that the evidence that we have, and we still have evidence that we're going to have to go over, I believe everything was extraordinary.
So I came over here and you wanted to talk to me a little bit. I noticed that you've kind of been backing off a little bit of some of the cases, so what's going on?
I'm having health issues right now, so I need to pull back a little. So I might call you an hour before and be like, I'm going! You know, I just don't want to make a commitment and call you an hour before and go, I can't go. So it'll be opposite. I'll call you like an hour or so.
Well, the communication thing's big with me, you know that. So
Yes.
let me know some way or another. But that's understandable. So
yeah, I'm just having a lot of health issues.
What's Jason gonna do then?
He's probably gonna step down for a while. I don't know how, with focus on me and other life issues going on.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll try and get these two together to talk more about it.
Yeah.
But
because he stepped down before because of issues and job-related stuff.
And the kids are coming, and just everything going on.
And he came back, and he did participate quite a bit, and we're glad to have him when he can join these things. But I can understand if he can't do it as well. So thanks for letting me know about that. But yeah, figure it out with him, see what he can do. If he steps down completely, then it's fine. Just let me know.
Okay.
Still glad to have you on. I was worried about that when I initially had heard that. I thought, oh, we're going to lose both of them.
No, not me.
Okay.
She's not having the complete time right now, so we are looking for another full-time.
Well, thanks for the update. I know that we had to squeeze time to meet up with you.
Harry Potter! Harry Potter!
But the Stagecoach Inn that we just did, our last
I know.
case,
I wish I would have gone, but
it was pretty intelligent activity that had happened there. It's mainly a child. Enough to me, a child came out to me more so. You know, it's kind of like you think of the women there. You think it would have came out to Jackie more than me, but all right.
But
Thank you.
Oh,
So
thank you for coming out here.
yeah, thank you. And remember what I said. Try to find time. I know you're always busy, but to calm down and contain your energy, because it's not good to be overly stressed for long durations of time.
I know stuff goes flying around in my house.
Yeah, then you have the poltergeist effect. So
Paranormal Endeavors has opened up the opportunity for a new case manager, and we actually got 3 people who were interested in it.
And we narrowed it down to 2 candidates that we're reviewing here, and it is kind of tough because they're both very qualified potentially for this. And so reviewing some things with Jackie, because she's one of our more senior field researchers that we have, and just kind of getting her insight on it, and hopefully we'll have a decision here soon.
They're both really good candidates for the position and for our other opening, which is another investigator on the team.
Our case manager position throughout the few years that we've been around has actually had quite a bit of a turnover. We started out with Chris, and then we moved to Sarah. We had Johnny in there for a little bit of time. Kim do it, and it's just one of those positions that does involve quite a bit more time than a regular field researcher. This is a position where individuals have to contact clients, maybe have lengthy conversations with them, document down evidence and case information for case profiles, and they also have to, at times, go to public events and know quite a bit about the team, and in some instances, if I'm not available to go, possibly be next in line for leadership as well. So there's quite a bit of responsibility with this.
I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to meeting both and seeing how they mesh with our team. And Yay, new family member.
I'm not asleep.